All right, you grasshoppers. Wow. Okay, so this is a big day today. So let me do the introduction first, get that out of the way, and then we'll get into the whole workout yesterday. So here we are from Kentucky, the governor, the first lady, the 27th most popular player to ever play on Survivor, the woman that bailed on me and ruined my game, the great Elaine Stott. How are you doing, Elaine?
I'm doing all right. You need to work on your introduction. I don't know if any of that was appropriate. Like right. It wasn't it was wrong.
What? What was wrong?
I'm going down. I started out as the number one, what'd you say, 17th.
No, you're 27th now.
And then what'd you say? Like the governor?
Yeah, okay. We'll work on it. Well, you basically are like the governor.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm the governor of my farm. That's about it.
Yeah, so you're the governor of something, and the first lady. You're the first lady of that house there.
Yeah.
No, Tanya's first lady. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
All right, so big question. We're gonna have to touch on. You and I'll have a discussion about everything that's going on in our country right now too. But I need to know about the workout yesterday.
I did go to CrossFit.
You did?
Yeah, I did. And
Yeah.
my butt. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. I was telling it's 606 down here downtown Corbin. It's called
Right.
606 CrossFit.
Right.
I told him, I was like, yo, it's our first day back. What are you trying to do? Kill us?
Right.
I almost passed out. It was like, yo, it was so hard. But I done it though. I mean, I got to the end. Let's see, we did for warm up, we did like 200-meter rows, and then you do like 10 air squats, 5 burpees. You do 3 rounds of that for warm up, and then we did partners. So me and Tanya partnered up, and it was 50 pull ups, 50 wall balls, 50 box jumps, 50 jump ropes, 50 push ups, 50 kettlebell swings, and then
Wow.
50 wall balls, 50 pull ups, 50 jump rope. You do it twice.
Right.
And I got to the last set of pull ups, and I could only do 5. I was done.
Yeah.
Done. Couldn't do 20.
That's actually a lot to get stuff. You haven't been doing much in the last couple of months.
Yeah. And that's like, yo, like they try to murder us, but like for some reason, like it's funny because I'm really out of shape, but Tanya, and I'm a smoker,
Right.
and Tanya's not a smoker, and I don't get as winded as she does, and she struggles more than I do, and it's like, yo, I'm in better shape than I thought I was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're naturally strong. Seriously, I mean, we joke around about that, but you are. That's actually a lot to get started with, though. I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, killed me.
How you feel now?
Well, I'm not sore, but that'll come tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like I'm a little sore in my shoulders and stuff. I think the pull-ups and the push-ups and this, that, and the other. But tomorrow is when it's gonna hurt. I know that.
You need to be careful what you say.
Oh, my boo's watching.
No,
but she it's weird because, like I said, I've been a smoker for 30 years, and it's winded way worse than I do. You know what I mean? And it's kind of strange. I don't know if it's just I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's like that. So
I'm not trying to stir the pot or anything like that. So really, I'm not. I'm just making sure that Tanya gets airtime here. Okay.
Yeah. She had a hard time yesterday. Afterwards, we had to sit there for about 30 minutes. Her lips were white. She was pale. It was like, yeah, she had to take a time out for about 30 minutes.
That's tough. That's what I think. Like I almost wouldn't want you doing that much right off the bat, right? It's like you ease into it a little bit. That's my.
No, but it's good though. I mean, I need to go, so I went. It was good.
Tom Mike says I belong to an old smoker. What are you saying about?
Oh yeah, she's had to go to the doctor because she's been having problems for a while. We actually canceled the trip to go to Nora's house because she was having heart problems and stuff. And the doctor said that she has lungs, as if she's a smoker. She has lungs like that.
Right.
And her heart doesn't pump the way it's supposed to, or something.
Doesn't help she's with you. I mean, probably makes it even harder for her, right?
Yeah. I'm probably pretty rough on her, but
No kidding. God.
yeah,
See, I have heart palpitations or whatever it is.
heart
Here in
palpitation.
Connecticut. Palpitations or whatever they call that.
Yeah,
All right, so I mean, we want to have fun on our show all the time, but I think you and I both need to address what's going on in the country. I think we'd be kind of remiss if we did not.
yeah.
I'm sure you feel the same way, right? It's awful what happened in Minneapolis. That police
No,
officer.
it is, and this has been a long time coming, though. You know what I mean? Like, there's been a lot of stuff going on that's happened, especially in the Black community. With there's been a lot of police brutality against blacks and stuff, and so it's been a long time coming with the riots and the anger and frustration. Uh, but I think it needs to be focused. And I listened to a speech. I don't know if Killer Mike's a rapper, right? And he gave a speech in Atlanta.
I heard about this. I didn't see it. I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, his speech was on point. It was exactly what everyone needs to hear and listen to. And basically, it's you don't want to burn your house down. You want to rage against the system and rage against the machine, yes. But like you want to, how was it he said it? You want to plan, prioritize, strategize, organize, and mobilize. You know
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate. I'm sure you'd agree. It's a small minority of people who are doing all the looting and the violence, right? I even saw an interview with a young guy. I can't remember where it was. He'd been arrested. He was sitting there on the curb, and they went over and interviewed him. And he was very honest. He says, "I'm here because I need money." Like, he was stealing stuff out of stores because he needed money. He was very honest. He says, I'd lie to you to tell you some other reason. And they even asked, "Are you trying to be part of the protest, like to change things?" And he says, "Well, yeah, but I need the money." So there's a lot of that, and that gets the focus away from, like you're talking, from what.
Yeah, and that, well, the premise of the speech is like, if you're truly about change and you're truly about like getting your house in order and making things happen, to burn your own house down is not do it. You beat up, you become a political bully and go to the offices and vote. And like he said, if a prosecutor sent your homeboy to jail and you don't agree with it, it was bullshit, take your ass to the voting booth and vote that out. So that needs to be done. It needs to be handled in that sense. I understand the anger, though. I get the frustration. I'm like you. I don't think that not everybody out there has the same agenda. There's some people out there that shit out there to do dirty. You know what I mean? To do shit that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, and I know a ton of police officers from this area. From doing charity events and everything, and they're fantastic people. Like any profession, any group of people, you're going to have a certain percentage that either are good people who've done bad things, or they are just bad people, right? But I've seen a number of people say that no police officer in their right mind approves of what happened to Mr. Floyd out there.
Here's like, if you are a police chief, right, and inside your precinct you have officers that have multiple complaints against them,
right?
Do your job. Send those SOBs to the house. Why do you still have them on your?
Well, I hear you, but there are unions and there's laws, right? You can't just because somebody's accused of something, right?
Yeah. If you've got people on your police force because there's officers out there that have multiple complaints. There's got some truth to it. You know what I'm saying? Investigate it. Get rid of those cops. And then another thing is I watched this video the other day. There was a cop, a male cop, who was talking back to the protesters and like pushing them and screaming. I don't know. He was going crazy. And another officer stepped in and put his ass in check. And it happened to be a female officer. And she's like basically saying, "Not on my watch. You're not doing this shit on my watch." Right. I think that needs to take place. Those other 3 officers that stood there and did not check their boy when he was doing wrong, they're at fault.
I hear you, but we just need to be careful, I think, to just not point the finger at police officers, right? I just think our whole society needs to do a much better job of treating people the way they deserve to be treated, right? And it's like there's
underlying thing to being a human being. You treat others how you want to be.
Totally. And we've got laws in this country.
That's not.
for some reason I get kind of addicted to on YouTube. I watch these videos and these guys called First Amendment auditors. So the First Amendment is the right for basically they're trying to say if I'm in a public place, I can photograph. Now there's some guys that are really good about it. They go, they're trying to exercise their rights, and I think it's important when you have rights in the country that you exercise those rights, or you will lose them. Now, some guys push it too far and get really antagonistic and rude to the police and all that kind of stuff. But I think what happens sometimes, we don't all know what our rights are, right? And what we should put up with and what we shouldn't. And no person, to me, it's like no person should be treated like, some people in the Black community have been treated. And the stories over and over about, police officers and other people just not treating Black people and other people properly, whether it's because of the color of their skin or their religion or anything. It's like we're all like it's.
The crazy thing is like when people in law enforcement and in the system, when they do wrong, they're not held accountable. They're not. I mean,
I'd be careful there. I don't necessarily agree.
Dude, I agree. Listen, I grew up on that side of the tracks. I've been arrested. I've had police harass me. I've like been in situations where it's like I did nothing wrong, right. But who I was, my family name was the main part of it. My family name, I was already guilty. So it's there's people that in law enforcement, it's not all law enforcement, it's not, but there's people in law enforcement that take the power that they have and they abuse it and they use it against the people to do what they want.
Yeah, there's some people in law enforcement. There's politicians that do that. There's lots of people. It's not just, we can't just focus on the police officers. If we want to change things, we got to stop focusing on just.
I just think it's bullshit because we as a people have allowed the system to have all the power and we have none. We've done that ourselves. We've put ourselves in a situation.
Yep.
So, power. I don't agree with like busting in the cell phone stores and shoe stores, stealing. I don't agree with that, but I understand the anger that comes behind some of it.
Yeah.
But whenever they take it as far as beating a store shop owner up or whatever, I think that's crap. Like, don't lose sight of what you're there for. Don't lose sight.
Right. See, that's the problem, right?
Don't fall the trick bag is what it is. That's what.
Well, but see, there's the problem, though. You're right. There's so many of the protesters out there that have not fallen into that trap. Probably 90% of them. Because what's happening is when they're out there during the day, they're mostly peaceful protests. They've shown all kinds of videos. It's at night when it's dark. Now all of a sudden, the group of people come out. They want to rob and steal and cause damage. They come out, and it's even better for them in some cities now because they have to wear masks because of the virus. So now they're even more brave because nobody knows who they are. So
it's turning into. And that's what happens is like something like this happens. The protests begin, and then the people with different agendas come out, and then it turns into something dark, and it's not positive. And it shouldn't be that way, but that's how it is. Like you got evil that shows up disguised as your friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's just how it is. But
and the media's got an agenda trying to. They have a story that they want to spin. It isn't necessarily about the truth. They have a story.
It is though.
What's that?
Do you know what it is? I see. I'm one of those conspiracy theories kind of people. I believe that all this stuff is set up to keep us at each other's throats, so we don't go after the people.
Everything. You know what? That's a fantastic point. But I believe it's not just this stuff. It's everything. The whole Democrat-Republican thing.
It's all set up to keep us at each other's throats. So
everything is all the politics.
Use our heads and come together.
Yeah.
Go against what these 1% of the politicians, who are in charge, like, so we don't rise up against them. We fight against ourselves.
Yeah, we watch our TVs too much in the news, where you could take a situation, and if you watched Fox, they would put one spin on it, and if you watch CNN, they'll put another spin on it, right? And they're totally different. Same situation, they'll put another spin. It's all about they'll always get a Republican and a Democrat to talk over each other on both channels, on both sides of it. Nothing gets all because, just like you're saying, then we have everybody wants to be a Republican or a Democrat, and they can't just worry about being a citizen of the United States of America. They have to fight each other. Yeah. And the media sets that up, and we fall for it.
Well, that's like like now, like you had a white cop kill a black man, and so now, like, whites in general are being categorized in the same sense as the cop is, and you know that's what happens. Is it becomes about white versus black,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know, dude. It's just it
But,
frustrates so
but
much.
the reality is, and I'm sure you're the same way. I have many people of color that are my friends that I'm very close to, whether they're Hispanic people, Asian people, black people. There's so many people in this country that don't look at the color of somebody's skin necessarily.
I got nephews that are mixed. You know what I mean? Like, I consider myself to be a racist. I don't associate with people like that. Like, I personally treat people how they treat me,
Yeah,
and I do that on a regular basis. I have since the beginning of the time, and I always will.
yeah.
Uh, and but I get the frustration and I get the anger. I just wish we could, like, put it in a motion to rise up against the machine and not the faces that you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
I think the police, the whole police force needs to be restructured in a sense, because like I said, if there's a bunch of complaints, like, do your job, get rid of those people. If you're an officer yourself and you see somebody doing wrong, check them. It's your job.
But they
Check
do. They do
partner.
that. They do that.
Check
See,
partner.
you and I disagree on that a little bit because, again, to me, the focus should be on the police. The focus should be on all of us on how we let things happen.
But the situation that we're talking about involves the police, so that's why I'm talking about the police. It is
No,
on all.
to me, it is. It's bigger. It's bigger than just the police. It's bigger than just the police. It's the way we treat each other and the way we have become gullible, thinking that other people have power. We have rights in this country. We have laws, and we've lost those rights because we haven't exercised our rights. Right. So we need to.
That's the thing, though. That's the part where education comes into play. Is like,
Yeah.
if you don't have rights, then how do you know if they're mistreating you? How do you know it? Other than, like, basic stuff, like what
Yeah. Okay. But remember, let's remember something too.
wrong. That shit was wrong, Like, they done that. They done him dirty.
Yeah. There's no question. But remember, like, I know a lot of police, and the way they have been, the picture that's been painted of the police. Like, I know a lot of New York City police officers, and it is a miserable job for them now. They are totally discouraged. The morale is the lowest it's ever been with those people. And most of them are fantastic people. Yes, there's bad people, but it's more us coming together. Don't point the fingers just at the police. Don't point the finger at just any one group.
Pointing the fingers at the police, but I do think the system is freaking broken. It needs
Oh,
to fix.
yeah. But like you're saying, and you and I are agreeing on this. It's us.
It's lopsided, Like, we literally allow people to tell us what to do, and then they don't do what they say.
No.
Bullshit. I don't with that.
But it's our fault. It's like people like
No,
you.
I said it's our fault
Yeah.
because we've allowed things to get this far. We've allowed the system to have way more power than they was ever supposed to have. We've allowed that to happen. So now bad things go down. Like, they don't even, like, really, they don't have to listen to us. But if you throw enough rocks in the back of their windshield, maybe they will.
No, they won't. They won't. See, the politicians will, because they're smart. They're trying to play both sides of the fence, right? They're saying, "Oh yes, we back the protesters and those other people that are rioting and everything."
They're also crooked. I seen Joe Biden kneeling and taking a photo and kneeling with the people and this, that, and the other. And a fan of mine had actually said something like, "Why don't I post something? I have a platform to use it to help save lives," and which is true. Like, we do have a platform where we can speak on things or whatever. But I didn't want to be one of those people that was, like, throwing a video out there just to catch likes and like that. And I think you have that with some of these politicians, and they're doing things not because they really give a shit. They're doing because in the voters' eye, they want to be the one that they're, out there active. And I seen this video of this girl pretending like she was putting up a board, like at a store, and she was holding a drill, and her boyfriend was taking pictures. And then after 30 seconds, she gave the drill back to the dude, and she's like, "All right, thank you." And she got back in her car and drove off.
Yeah. Cool.
I didn't want to be one of those people to post something to be like, you know what I mean? To make it look like I was trying to gain anything, because I'm not.
But that is all part of the problem, right? That's what our politicians, and it's supposedly, I hate even calling them that, they're supposed to be our leaders. They're not our leaders. But that's what it's supposed to be. It's all about, and they'll use an opportunity like this. They'll all get up and make speeches, and then they'll save the video of the speech. And then when it's campaigning time, they're going to be, you wait till the campaigning time comes around, and all the governors and mayors that have had all these press conferences, when they're now going to talk like how they saved so many lives of the coronavirus. They're all going to use that in their campaign speeches. It's all
like I've been to Atlanta. My brother used to live in Atlanta, but I don't know a whole lot about Atlanta. But since this thing happened, like I've seen the mayor from Atlanta, the lady, I can't remember.
Supposedly she did a great job. Yeah.
That she's badass. Why can't people be like her?
Yeah.
You know, like there was an incident where a car was at a red light, and the cops ran up to it, flattened the tires, jerked the people out, tased the guy, and it for no reason. They wasn't even doing anything. And it's just because, and see, I think that's what's happened is like if a cop tells you to do something and you don't, it's like, they get infuriated. So it's like, I'm above you, so you're going to do as I say. So they enforce things on you that shouldn't take place. Right. They get pissed. So anyway, they jerked this couple out of the car, tased them, done all this crazy shit. And she literally fired them just like that. Fired them just like that. That's how you respond.
Right. But again, that's not, firing police officers isn't going to solve the problem. It's changing we're going back to, it's changing the attitude of the way we treat each other. That's the problem. No. And it isn't just police officers. So.
I know, but listen, if you leave the bad ones in there, they only tear you down. Have you not ever watched what's it called? Remember the Titans? You ever seen that movie?
Yep.
Okay, the one linebacker, Terry, what's his name?
Yeah, the big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, his buddy didn't like the way Blacks was on the team, and he was doing dirty on the field.
Kicked him off the team, yeah.
And he kicked him off the team because he took it upon himself. He was like, you're messing this up. You're not doing it right. You're done. Dude, why can't we do that? Like, what?
We're focusing on firing police officers. My feeling is we need to focus on changing the attitude of the way we treat each other. We need to stop listening to politicians. We need to stop listening to the news outlets. We have rights. We shouldn't be. See, so many people want to listen to the news and tell us how to vote, what to buy, what drugs we should be taking all the time. We just got to start thinking for ourselves.
No, I agree. We have to think for ourselves. And I'm not saying it's just the cops. It's the whole system's broken.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. But that's old news. That's
right now is the police force for the stuff that's going on. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You don't treat human beings like that, dude. You don't.
Right. And criminals shouldn't do the things they're doing to police officers. Police officers are getting killed all over the country.
No, they shouldn't. And
so it's the way we treat each other. Listen, it's been like this for a long time, though. People are thinking this is some new thing. I lived in LA. I lived in LA when they had the Rodney King riots. It's the same thing.
No, it is the same thing. Yeah. But it all starts in your own house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you spew hate at home, then you know what I mean? Like it goes out like a virus. It's like a cancer. It spreads.
Yep.
But what I was saying is that it doesn't matter where you work out. If you work at a grocery store, a gas station, a factory, it don't matter. If you're in a spot and you see people doing some dumb shit, you see people treating somebody a certain way, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. I agree totally.
Turn it, change it, fix it.
See, but that's the focus that needs to be changed. Everybody's like focusing on either the police's fault or the riot's fault. It's the whole way we treat each other. And understanding that we have laws and rights in this country, and our politicians are not our bosses. They're elected officials that are there to do a job. They're not there to get rich, but that's what we've allowed to happen. Like these politicians now, these career politicians stay there for years and leave being worth hundreds of millions of dollars when they're making like $200,000 a year or something. So it's just, we've allowed it to happen.
Joke. It's a joke. We have allowed it to get this way. You know what I mean? It's freaking joke.
Yeah.
You know what? I went to the courthouse the other day. I bought my uncle out and I took the papers to the courthouse. And I didn't even know it was election day. I've had so much stuff going on. And I walked in the courthouse to take my papers and they're like, "You're here to vote." And I was like, "Well, I got to turn my deed in." I was like, "But yes, I'm going to vote." I didn't even know. Yes. because that's your right. You know what I mean? And like I was saying before, if you don't agree with the police chief, the sheriff, if you don't agree with your city council, if you don't agree with your mayor, if you don't agree with your governor, vote, get them out.
Wow. That is one step. There's no question, but that a lot has to be changed though. Like we have all these special interest groups and lobbyists, so that the politicians, when they have to repay these people now. So these people are paying for their campaigns so that they can become the elected officials, presidents, governors, whatever it is. And now they feel like they need to repay other the wealthy. I know, but they're not going to do it.
No, they're not going to do it. But that's part of the reason why, as a people, we have to stick together. That's what makes me so mad. Is because incidences with people who are just evil people and do dirty shit, like the cop that killed him, like that. He's just evil, dude. That was just wrong on a human level. It was wrong on a human level. And so, like, if we can't even like come together as human beings to change a system,
they have created a system where they don't want us. They do everything they can to keep us from coming together. You mentioned that earlier. They do. Don't want us. Yeah. And until we realize
why would they want us to come together? Because we could change the whole
whole thing. Get rid of special interest groups, lobbyists, term limits. Yeah.
They don't want that. They want us to rise up big time. They don't want it.
Exactly. Yeah. But until we realize that and what's going on and stop worrying about Republicans or Democrats, like concentrate on what's right for all of us in the United States of America. Right. So I agree.
Well, I think that the country right now is like in serious turmoil. Like it's like serious turmoil. And like, I'm personally like, I really do feel for the Black community, because it's gotta be like hard as hell to be Black in America. You know what I mean? It's gotta be. Yeah. And so like my heart goes out to everybody. And like, I just want, I want people to treat each other how we need to treat it. And I hate that there's people out there that are taking this situation and turning it into something lucrative for themselves and busting and still. Listen, they broke into a workout place and stole weight benches, and like, what does that have to do with what's going on?
So okay, picture somebody that's doing that kind of stuff. Their life has gotten so bad, right, that they now that's the way they look at life. They just have to take care of themselves. That's all they're thinking about, because they've been treated so badly that they see an opportunity to get weights or shoes or watches or whatever it is. They're going to do it.
But that's why we never get anywhere, is because you have people that think of themselves and not as the whole.
I think about the poor Black guy that grows up in this terrible community where he gets treated the way he's treated by many people, not just police officers. So he gets to the point so jaded in his mind that that's all he thinks about. I don't blame him. I'm not saying their actions are correct, but we got to think of where they're coming from and why that mentality is in their head, right? Because we as a whole country has just mistreated so many people in so many different ways. So
no, I agree with that. It's all, the whole thing's just messed up. It's aggravating and frustrating that.
Yeah. But okay, here's the danger. Just like in 92 when it was with the riots in LA, everybody's like, we need to change things. Nothing's changed. We didn't change anything.
You know, I know it's because history keeps repeating itself. You know, Martin Luther King marched in 1968. You know what I mean? 60 years almost.
Yeah.
You know, over 50 years. Like since that march. And granted, things are way better now for the Black community than it was in the 60s. However, like, it's still the same principle and the same concept. It's still the same.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know how we fix that other than you get your part as a human being. You treat people as you want to be treated. You fill out your census and let them know you're here. You get in the voting lines and you vote. And if you feel like that whoever's not doing a better, maybe you can do a better job. Run for office your damn self. Get in there.
Yeah. We need to turn off our TVs. Stop listening to what they're telling us, because they're telling us how to think, who to vote for, what to buy. So turn off the TVs. Get outside. Go to your neighbor. And now it's tough because of coronavirus and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, when you start take care of each other,
Yeah, it's sad though. I watched I watched a lady the other day. She was crying. They were interviewing her, and she wasn't like elderly lady, but she was she's probably about your age, Tom. She, in the mid range from my age to your age. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And she was crying. She was so upset because the looters had destroyed the stores in her community. And
Mhm.
she was saying, I can't walk anywhere. The buses ain't running. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the next time you think about like breaking into one of these stores or doing this, man, think about that, because there's people that
They don't think that though. Their
I
life, think
it,
about it,
it,
their lives have gotten so bad that they can't think of anybody else. They see an opportunity to get something that they can't afford to get, so
yeah,
they and it's almost like you can't blame them because it's a world they've grown up in, right?
selfish people. I hate it. I,
Yeah,
like, selfish person is like the worst. Like, it's terrible.
but that
I try to be somebody that put others before me, and I have. I've given people the shirt off my back, and so I've never been a self-centered individual ever in my life, and it's frustrating that there's so many people that just think of themselves instead of other people, and that could have you could say that to the police that did that to that man. You can say it to the protesters. You can say it to everybody, man. Like,
politicians, yep, absolutely.
the politicians, like, seriously, like, if you just put yourself last for a change, and put somebody ahead of you, or try to help out, you know what I mean? Like, and
Something's got. I tell you what, for that to happen, I mean, think of the change. Like we would all have to get together and say, enough of you politicians. No more special interest groups. No more lobbyists.
I think,
Start concentrating on what's right for this country.
dude, there's enough protests though, and almost every city's having protests.
But
You know,
it's not going to change the political system.
I live in a small community, a very small community, and they protested downtown. You know what I mean? They was protesting, but like, if you don't take it a step further than just doing the protest, then it doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
And that happened in the past. It's like you have this craziness with all these riots and the protests and this and this, and everybody just goes back home and they're over it.
Yep. Totally.
You know, and then here we are. We got another situation where something else has happened,
Yep.
and somebody's up in arms again. But I'm saying, let that anger and frustration carry you forward, and use that momentum to actually do something 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, a month from now.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Tom, I can bitch about this all day.
Yeah.
I've had troubles with the law myself. Like, I've been there. You know what I mean? Like, my brothers, they were harassed, like literally straight up harassed when we were growing up, and that's why I said by my name. I had the stock name. We was known as some troublemakers. So it's like, even if we was innocent, it didn't matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I have that view, that warped view. I don't view all cops that way. My cousin was a cop, and I don't view all cops that way. I got some friends that are police. There's good policemen out there. There's good people out there, and it's just a shame that it's still going on after all these years. Like, there's still shit coming down to basic human beings treating each other this way. It's just
Totally. Yeah. But here we are, we sit and talk about it. We go over and over it, and we'll be sitting. And 10 years from now, we'll be looking back and saying nothing's changed. The politicians are still getting paid by specialist groups and lobbyists, and they don't really care about what's going on out there. They care about getting reelected. The news stations will just be the same old news stations, spinning stories, and they're in cahoots with the politicians.
Well, that's because, like, if you got a news station that they're backing a certain politician, then that politician gets favorable press, whereas they're not backing them, then the politician doesn't get favorable press. And then, people believe what they see. You know what I'm saying? And well, I tell you a story about my grandpa. So my grandpa was older, damn it. He was 88 when he passed away. But he was a good dude, and he was old school, so he believed, like, your word is your word. And if somebody told him something, he took it as their word. You know what I'm saying? He went and bought this chair once. It was a reclining chair. I came over. I was in college. I came over one day, and I walked inside, and I said, Grandpa, I said, is that a piece of a sectional? He had bought the end piece of a sectional couch. And, one side's got an arm on it, and the other side don't, right?
Right.
So I said, Grandpa, I said, you bought us. He's like, no, they don't make them like that anymore with that other arm. I said, what? He said, yeah, that guy told me that they don't make them with that arm on there because that leg, where you prop your feet up, is too hard to put down. So you swing your legs over to the side. And I looked at him and I was like, what? And he said, yeah, that's what that man said. That leg's too hard to put down, so you got to get up over here, and then you push. And I said, Grandpa, that man lied to you. And he's like, no, he told me that's what, and like it took me forever to convince that old man that he was snookered,
Right.
that he got took.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is like you have some people that just believe people at their word, and like, so if you got a politician that's like, oh, some people believe, you know what I mean? Some people believe in what they're selling, and even though it's a bag of tricks, there ain't nothing in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's the vast majority of the country. We should stop watching TV.
Believe it. They believe.
Stop. Right. Stop watching TV. Stop watching TV. Like you go back to the Ronald Reagan era, when doctors ran pharmaceutical companies. The doctors themselves did not allow. They said to the government, you should not advertise pharmaceuticals on TV. And then now businessmen started taking over the pharmaceutical companies, and they lobbied the Ronald Reagan government to allow them to advertise. If you pay attention, watch TV at night now, they're creating diseases to sell their drugs. Like they are advertising.
We talked about this a little bit last week. I just went to rehab, dropped somebody off at rehab, and was dealing with all that last week. And it was basically like they want to get off dope, but when they called to get into clinics and do this and this, it was, well, if you want to get off it, you can't come here. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
If you want to quit, they won't let you come. I don't understand. And what it is they want you to keep coming back.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Get off that stuff. Yeah. They want you to keep coming back because that's a check. It's like, it's crazy how much it costs every single time they visit the doctor. It's like $300. Yeah. Every single time they visit the doctor to get their Suboxone or whatever to try to keep them off dope. You know what I mean? And then, so they're, the person I'm talking about that I took to rehab, they're on Suboxone, trying to get off pills on Suboxone. And so they go to a clinic. They had to go to several different clinics to be taken down. Like they give you a milligram, right?
Right.
And the person I'm talking about wants to come down on their milligram.
Right.
But the doctor's like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Yeah. It makes no sense. So the system that they set up, they've got it to where, oh, you're not on pills, you're on Suboxone, but you pay $300 a pop every time you come get your Suboxone. You have to come a week, and they're not going to lower your dosage. There's people I know that's been on the same dosage for years.
Yep, it's all rigged against.
It's a freaking racket.
Yeah, it's all rigged. Yeah, but okay, we can talk about it all we want though.
No, it's been like all that stuff makes me mad. It pisses me off. It's
and you know what? Nothing will change unless we all stop watching TV, make up our own minds, and we want to change things. Start helping each other. So.
Yeah, so let's do that. Dude, we only run for freaking president. I'll be president and you can be vice president.
I don't really think that works. Well, you know what though? I can't be president. Otherwise, I would be president because I was born in Canada. So you have to be born in the United States to be president.
I just said.
But you'd have to listen to what I say. I mean, the reason I couldn't.
I'm president. You got to.
I would not be president more because of a technicality because I was born in Canada. The actual leadership would be coming from me, right?
No. I believe. Listen, I was raised by my grandpa, so I believe in like old school justice, an eye for an eye. So like if somebody does something to you or treat you a certain way, like you can have every right to go bust them right in the chops. I'm one of those people. You know what I mean? Like I don't like the fact that people have gotten to be I don't know, so weak, I guess. You know what I mean? They don't stand up for themselves. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Like it's got to the point where like, I don't know, dude. It's like, it's frustrating, you know?
Yeah. But we won't do anything about it because they've got the system all wrapped up where there's nothing. How are we going to do it? Okay, I'm going to go to the president of the United States and say, "What? I want you to get rid of special interest groups and lobbyists." He's going, "You're nuts. That's how I'm making money. That's how I get reelected. I'm not getting rid of special interest groups and lobbyists." So now it continues the same thing. Special interest groups and lobbyists come and pay for their campaigns. They now owe them everything because they've given them all this.
What they need though, like, could somebody like me run and become president? I couldn't, could I? Because I don't have the money.
Well, that's the problem. You're right. You need money. Right. It shouldn't be that way, but that is the way it is. If you can't go raise money, then you can't be president. Like in the news channels even talk about it. They brag about how much money the presidents or
they raise money. They do these campaigns and stuff and raise money. But what is the money raised for?
To by advertising. That's a big chunk of it, right? By advertising on television. So they send their message, like the amount of money they spend on advertising prior to an election is huge. So they've got to go out and raise hundreds of millions of dollars to pay for all that. And then, like we said earlier, then the more advertising that's out there, the more message that's being spun, whether it's true or not. So many people are just going to look at that and go, okay, they keep saying it, so it must be the truth, right?
Yeah. Well, that's that subliminal messages. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're watching something, and all of a sudden you see like a burger flash across the screen or something, right. Like that catch. No, you don't know.
Yeah, like out there in Survivor, you kept trying to tell me that you're my friend, which obviously wasn't true, right? You're just spinning it.
Listen, just because we disagree doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Oh, I'm not worried about the disagreeing. I'm worried about like the total backstabbing out there in Survivor, where like all of a sudden you go over on the other tribe.
No.
You're jumping up and down and hugging everybody.
You're not going to agree with everybody. Not everybody's going to share your views and share your opinions. The key to all of it though is you got to find a middle. You got to find compromise, and that is how it is.
You know what though? Like you and I are friends, and we can disagree on something and still be friends.
But I'm not going to hate you because you're wrong.
Oh, exactly. Because I'm never wrong. So
I'm not going to hate you because you're wrong. Like it.
But I'm never wrong. So
right of me to not like you because you're always wrong. Like it just.
But I'm never wrong, so I don't know why that would even be an issue. Why would you even bring that up? Right?
Listen, all I know is I pray for the world at night. I pray for the people. I pray for the families that are affected by all this. I pray for the Black community. I pray for us all.
Yeah, we're all affected by it, right? I mean,
yeah, I pray for us all. So it's like, man, I wish that there was more kindness in the world than there is.
Well, listen, to me, this country is still a fantastic country. So I was born in Canada. I became a citizen in the United States after 9/11. So I chose to become a citizen. And to me, this is still a fantastic country. Like the actual country itself, the Great Lakes, the Rocky Mountains, the Grand Canyon, like you just travel around this country. We wouldn't have to go anywhere else in the world. And it's a fantastic country. And it's full of fantastic people that are out there every day doing great things for each other. Unfortunately, all the things we've talked about, the politicians and the system that's set up, and then the media and the way they portray things, and a few bad apples in all different walks of life. We let that, particularly now because we're watching TV all the time, we let this now grow into something bigger. Not everybody is a racist. And I have, for me to say that I would understand anything about a Black person in the United States or what it is to be a Black person, it's not. I don't know that. It'd be condescending for me to say that. So I don't know what they have to put up with all the time. But I just think there's so many fantastic people of all different races and religion doing fantastic things in this country. We see all the bad stuff. And it is bad. What happened to Mr. Floyd is terrible. It never should have happened. What's happening to police officers now is terrible as well. So it's everybody. I think this is a great country. We get bombarded with all the negative stuff, which is a small minority of all the things that are going on. So
yeah, I agree with most of that. I mean,
should agree with all of it.
Can't agree with you all the way. I'll just never see eye to eye.
You just blindly just trust me. If I say it, that's just the way it is. Okay.
No, I agree with all that. I really do. And I know when I talk about the cops and this and this, I'm not talking. Listen, if I'm saying cops, I'm not saying the good cops. Like I'm talking about the bad ones. I'm talking about the ones that, you know what I mean? Like they need to go. But it does start. It starts here at your house and how you treat people around you. It starts in your own community. It starts by getting out and voting and doing your part. It starts with all those things.
Right.
and then like not lose sight of what you're actually fighting about. You know what I mean? Like, don't lose sight of what you're fighting about. Don't lose sight of what you're trying to achieve, and don't let it go in a couple weeks. Don't just let it drop.
Right.
You know.
But do the protesters, or do the vast majority of the people in the United States really know what we need to change? Like, everybody says, let's change things, right? Like, are they saying, okay, we can't keep living, or we realize we can keep living this way, but our world can be so much better if we change the way it is from the top down, right? It's this whole mentality about politicians like just there to make money, get reelected, and they're not really focused on what's right for this country.
Yeah.
So that's my concern.
That's at all levels. It's not just
Yes. Totally. Yeah.
So my thing is like, you have to start at the bottom layer, dude. You have to start at like city council. You know what I mean? You have to start. You got to change it there, and then once you get some good people in there, then you move on.
Yeah, I think we disagree a little bit on that, but that to me, it's like you got to change. It needs to change.
You ain't gonna walk into that system that they got set up right now. You're not gonna walk into it and change it, because everybody that's sitting in the seats all get a little cut. So they're not going to make decisions based on what's good for everybody. They're going to make them based on what's good for. So you have to get those people out of there and bring in people that's willing to make those changes and do those things. And the only way to do that is to bring them up through the ranks, because none of them's there now.
Not going to happen. Not the way things are now. I'm with you totally. I just agree. I think we need to get more people that are independent. And I think we need to just stop listening to what we're being told on TV. I think it's like you watch the news, and after a while for me, when I watch the news, I'm trying to watch to see what's going on because of the pandemic. But after I watch the news, when I watch the news for a while, my brain is numb. Like, it's like I don't think to myself.
I don't even watch the news. Yeah. I try not. I haven't been on social media a lot in the past week or two, though. I've been super all the stuff that's been going on. And I started just watching it the past couple days, and it's like our country looks like a whole nother country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I just feel for everybody involved. And I know I've given the cops a lot of shit on this podcast, but I feel for them too, because you're right. There's cops out there. There's good people in good positions. And I just feel bad. It's kind of like me. I'm not racist, but because of things, I'm probably going to be accused of being racist and this, that, and the other. And it's like, it's the same thing, but we all get stuff like that. So it's like, we just got to learn to deal with it and figure out how to make it difference, dude. Like, do different. I'm just so sick of all the it's redundant. It's like, we did this just a couple years ago. Let's change something. Let's change it up. I don't know. So for all you people listening out there, go vote. Go vote.
You know what the answer is? I've got to win the lottery tonight so we can get those motorhomes and go on a tour around the country and change things.
If you win the lottery, we can become president and vice president.
But you got to listen to what I say, though, because clearly I've got a better idea.
Dude,
what?
Listen, you have no empathy. I empathize with everybody.
See, that's the problem. You give empathy to everybody. I'm going to go in there and kick
everybody deserves it. We're all human beings. We all deserve it. From the bottom to the top, we all deserve it.
So we're going to have a solution. So I don't let you around feel sorry for you. I get solutions. Solutions.
I'm not about charity in that sense. You getting it twisted. I'm not.
I didn't say you're for charity. I said get things done. There's problems. We need solutions and get it done. Like when we're on Survivor, I wanted to win.
No, but I'm saying though, like if we totally can, you win the lottery, me and you's running for office.
Okay, but
if I had money, I'd run right now.
Yeah, but you got to listen to me though, because I've got all the better ideas.
What?
I don't know if you can get it because you're a criminal record, because you're a rap sheet. I don't know if you can get
what? That gives me a better understanding of the system itself, right? Because I've been on the other side of that.
Yeah, we're gonna have
cops, but I've seen some bad ones too. That listen, you didn't do nothing wrong, and they don't give a shit whether you done anything wrong or right. So, listen, I would reform it. I'm telling you.
Okay, just get ready though, because we go on the campaign trail. There's going to be a lot of negative stories written about you because of all the bad things you've done.
I don't care.
Okay, so I'm going to have to be standing there backing up again. Here's what's going to happen again. you know what? You're going to get all these people saying bad things about you. I'm going to have to stand up for you. And then near the end, you're going to boot me out and get somebody else in there, somebody from Kentucky, as vice president. So again, I'll get the shaft.
People's gonna love me because they can relate to me. I've had a rough way to go growing up.
Yeah, but hold on. That's not the issue. That's not the issue here.
My brushes with the law. I'm talking about how people can relate to me.
That's not the issue here. It's not the issue. It's all about me.
No.
Like you're give me the boot again like you did on Survivor.
People can relate to me. They can't relate to you. Who plays?
There's lots of people like me.
There is a lot of people that watch hockey. That's true.
No, there's a lot of people are like me. Not that they don't like me. I don't care if anybody.
Oh no, not a lot of people.
Nobody likes me. I don't care.
I'm just saying, like, I am the people. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I represent a large group of people here in the United States of America. No, you, Tom.
Yeah, people get up at 3:30 in the morning. They drink their ginger shots.
I represent rednecks across blue collar America. I represent the gay community. See, I got another community, not just a redneck community.
That's true. And then all the people in prison, you represent them too.
Yes, right. I represent the people that are reformed. That
you know what?
Not life growing up, and now they better. I represent that. Listen, I represent so many people you can't keep up.
That's true. You know what? That is a very good point. So the gay community, the criminals, the rednecks.
Redneck, yeah, good-hearted, just good folk. Good-hearted.
Right. Huh. Well, that's a good point, but I got to give you that. Who do I represent? Just myself.
That's what I want to say. Well, that's what I said. You have no empathy for people. Like, I'm like John Coffey. My heart breaks for everybody, man. But I feel for everybody. I feel everybody's pain, but that's also a curse of mine too. Is that I do that. I feel everybody's pain, and sometimes I give a little too much of myself. But I think that's what you're supposed to do. I think you're supposed.
You say that's not true. You bailed on me in Survivor. You didn't care about me at all.
Well, why am I gonna freaking babysit some big boo-hoo crybaby? Didn't even think there were idols. There was no island. What? You didn't even think there were idols on the island? Like,
what are you talking about? I was just saying that to you. I was trying to get you off the track. I was just trying to use you.
Whatever, dude.
All right. Well, this is a good heated conversation. So we need to make. So in the end, we decided that we need to turn our TVs off, go out there and help each other and change the way things are done. Not listen to the politicians and media anymore. Right? That's what we decided.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We decided that people need to be held accountable for what they do, and that's on both sides of the fence, on this side of the law and that side of the law.
Top to bottom.
Not above the law. If listen, wait, real quick. I've seen a few videos of like the police officers like going into the protesters and then like reversing it, spinning, flipping. You know what that's called? That's called reckless driving. Write that man a ticket.
You know what though, Elaine? You're focusing on the police so much. That happens every day in America. Criminals do that every day to police officers. Police officers are getting shot. Police officers are getting killed.
They go to jail.
We're now focusing on it because of the police officers.
Yeah, they're not above the law. Quit allowing.
Well, we all know that though. That's not some new news.
I don't care. I'm over it.
That's not new news.
I'm over it, Tom. I'm over that shit.
Okay, well, let's
change
the way we treat each other. Don't bail on people when you say you're going to stick with them.
Tom.
What?
Listen, we're all just human beings trying to get along.
Yeah.
So you treat each other accordingly.
Yeah. So don't bail on people. So don't make commitments to people and bail on them like just because it's a TV show.
No. Don't take an oath to do something and then turn your back on it.
So I'm gonna win Mega Millions tonight. Motorhome time.
And we're gonna run for office.
Okay. Yeah. Just listen, as long as you listen to what I say.
Tom, we'll take a poll and we'll ask the people who would they listen to, who would they want to run their country.
No.
It's gonna be Biscuit.
All right, we're out of here. We've gone too long.
Bye.
We'll see everybody on Tuesday.
God bless.
See everybody on Thursday. What?
I said, God bless. Take care, everybody.